In this video we're going to look at changing the blade on a BOSCH PHO 2082 surface planer. It's an electric planer, so make sure it's unplugged before you start messing about with the blade. So what we have to do, you'll notice that when you rotate the blade manually, you'll probably see that there's a bit of a dip in the middle there, particularly if you've been planing oak doors, because the oak doors are between 38mm, maybe 39mm. You're usually just going to use the centre of the blade, or the centre 3/4 of the blade. So first thing you need to do, may not have been changed for a while, so you need to just break that thread first of all. 3 turns anti-clockwise. Be careful where you're pushing down here with your thumb. Don't push down on the blade, because the outside edges are still sharp, so just push down away from the blade. Usually the blade will just slide out, but if it does have a build-up of the oak residue in there, it might be quite stubborn, so in which case the blade will only slide out one side. By the way, if the blade is a bit stubborn, just get yourself a long slotted screwdriver. Just put it in here, in between that little gap of the plastic casing and the tip of the blade, and just pry it down, or just twist the screwdriver so it's wedged against the plastic casing and the blade, and then the blade will just slide right down. One thing you might not know is the blades are double-sided. It's a double-edged blade, so one side is blunt. You can see where the blunt side is there. I'll just put it against the tri-square so you can see. You should be able to see there's a dip. It dips down into the centre, probably about 1mm altogether, which does have a big negative effect when you're planing your doors. So just turn it round and slide it in the other way. There is a groove on the top surface, and that groove has to go into, lock into the side. So when you're pushing the blade back in, just be careful with it. Flip the planer around so the blade isn't tempted to fall back out of this lowered side where the casing doesn't quite stop the blade coming out. So just turn the grub screws a couple of turns first of all. One, so you can feel them tightening. Just slacken that off a bit. Centralise it, then tighten the grub screw a bit more. Don't do it fully tightened just yet. Turn this one, match it up so it's just bitten. Okay, let's tighten that one a bit more. I want to be able to let go of the blade, but I don't want the grub screws too tight. I want to be able to check the blade is level. I don't want it to be higher on this side than this side. So you can do that. There's several parallel lines you can gauge. You can get a gauge off. You can gauge it off the front base plate here, or indeed the other recesses on the rotating blade adapter. So tighten that, not fully. Right, okay, so one last check. Make sure it's central. Make sure there's an even bit sticking out on either side before you fully tighten. You want about 1mm, well 2mm on either side where it overhangs. Just finish tightening that fully now. Okay, I'm happy with that. First thing you'll do after you've plugged it in is test it on a scrap piece of wood before you go straight into planing your oak doors. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe.